I'm now joined by Blooch, a human rights advocate and UN speaker specializing in Iranian minorities. Saba, great to have you on the show. It's day 56 of the Iran war and an internet blackout is still in place. At a time like this, how difficult has it become to form a fully accurate picture of the human rights situation happening inside the country?
Unfortunately, this blackout is intentional and systematic by the government to oppress its people, to silence them, to prevent dissidents. And it has become extremely difficult for human rights organizations, NGOs, to get accurate information. And this is what the regime wants. They don't want the world to know what is happening, obviously, and the human rights violations that it's carrying out against its own people. So it's all systematic, and it has done this before in the past. We saw this also in January when there was the uprising. And obviously now this is the longest time in its history the Islamic Republic has created this blackout. So there's a lack of information coming into it for its people, and a lack of information then being shared with the world, basically. So it's two ways here.
And how have rising executions and mass arrests in Iran been used as tools of political repression? And what impact has this had on dissent and civil society? Because you did mention back in January, we did see those anti-government protests.
Well, obviously, for the government, it does not want uprising. They do not want the demonstrations. It creates situations for it that they cannot control. And we've seen this again twice this year in the sense of people uprising, demonstrating, and all the killings, the thousands of people that are being killed on the streets. And it makes the government and the Iran look bad, because it's violating human rights when it does crack down on people demonstrating. And it's, again, a tactic that it uses to hide what is happening. It uses executions to scare its own people. Even to a point where the number of executions, human rights organizations have actually said that are on the increase. And now even teenage protesters are being executed. We have Amir Hossein Hatami that was executed earlier this month. And even his body hasn't been returned to his family. Again, a number of human rights violations happening there. These trials are on mock trials. They're not fair trials. They happen very quickly. And again, it's all to instill fear and prevent the dissonance and the uprising that you were mentioning before. We have May Sato, the special reporter, and the UN chief both expressing concern over the dire human rights situation in Iran.
And as you did say, it's so difficult to get a picture of what's actually happening. But Donald Trump has said he prevented the execution of 8 Iranian women through intervention. Iran denies any executions were planned, but women have been at the forefront of major protest waves. How has this affected women in Iran, and what have they had to face?
Well, as mentioned before, we can actually see that perhaps this war has started from the women life freedom movement, and the women were at the forefront of this movement. They demanded their basic human rights, and rightfully so. But the regime again has used two main ways to silence the women: imprisonment, intimidation, and then on the other hand, propaganda, confusion around their cases. And again, it goes back to hiding all of this information from the world, confusing us with information. These women have not been put on a death row. This is a claim that has been made. It's false. So this is, again, creating confusion. So we're not actually sure what to believe now. And there hasn't been an independent clarification in terms of what actually happened between what Trump said and what Iran said.
Blooch, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.